Hello, and welcome to our presentation on clinical research budgets. You received a budget. What's next? In this module, we're going to go through the procedures you need to follow to get your budget into the UB systems, how to ask for help, and what needs to be done to complete and finalize your clinical trial budget. This is a flow chart of what happens through the budget process from initially entering it into our central study registration to where it goes once it's finalized. As I mentioned, the first step is to enter your clinical trial documents into our CSR, Central Study Registration. The reason for this is it keeps you from entering your study information multiple times. By entering it into CSR, you can indicate where you need help, for example, the budget or coverage analysis. Then this will move it to scientific review and into the CLIC system and into the accounting systems where account will be set up for funding. Also, once entered into the CSR, this also generates your initial protocol calendar, which is used for multiple purposes. 1, to create a coverage analysis for your study. 2, to create your visit calendar within Encore to track your study. And 3, it can also be used as a tool to create a study budget. The importance of a coverage analysis or protocol billing grid is that it's UB's policy for every clinical trial to have a coverage analysis, and one must be completed. This is used to determine what clinical events in the protocol can be reimbursed by the patient's insurance, SOC or standard of care, or should be paid by the research sponsor study. This is essential to ensure appropriate billing and to avoid double billing. The Encore team will send you your protocol billing grid, and it is then you will review this grid with your PI to determine what items, if any, are SOC and what is billed to the study. This is then sent back to the CRO for review and finalization. Once your PBG is finalized, you will be sent a final signed copy for your records, and you can use that template then to build your study budget. I recommend building your study budget off the PBG because you know this reflects the schedule of events accurately, and the sponsor's budget may not, depending on how they have set up their budget for the trial. It is important that a coverage analysis billing grid is done on every clinical trial to ensure billing compliance. We don't want to bill insurance for something the study is reimbursing us for, but in the same respect, we want to be reimbursed for the items the insurance will not pay for. This is an example of a PBG used to build a budget. Remember to add the RC time, the study coordinator time, the PI time, and the data entry time and overhead to your grid. Once this is completed, you'll have a good estimate of what the study will cost per visit, per subject enrollment. Before you start negotiations, welcome the sponsor to UB. Give them a timeline of when you would have your budget edits to them. If we are negotiating the budget, we will do this for you at this time. And as well, you can send over the budget terms you have for your clinical trials. Some departments have their own, but the CRO has a general one that can be used and should be the standard when negotiating the site level costs for your budget. Make sure you have requested pricing on items that are not provided by the sponsor, example, echoes, blood tests. Pay attention to the footnotes in the SOC, and that you've incorporated these charges into your budgets. Device studies have extra things that need to be done. For example, the IDE and CMS letters need to be on file, as well as the NCT number, and a purchase agreement with the proper entity needs to be on file. Make sure all these are in place before trying to finalize your budget. Lastly, send the sponsor your initial edits and start negotiations. But remember, if you do negotiate your own budget, it will have to be approved by the CRO before you can finalize it with the sponsor. The reason for the final CRO approval is to keep consistent site level costs or have costs that are justifiable. It keeps us from fraud, the anti-kickback statute, helps us with negotiating future budgets. You can pass the buck per se and let the sponsor know that the site level costs are set at the university level. Sponsors will come to expect these costs, and it will become easier to negotiate and with repeat sponsors in the future. Our terms will be posted on our website. Example of site level costs: startup fees, pharmacy fees, coverage analysis, serious adverse events, monitoring fees. This is just a short list. There can be many more than this. Don't forget PI oversight fees. The new policy on overhead. The overhead policy is TDC. This means that 26% is added to all funds on a clinical trial. With the exception of the IRB fees at this time, there are no pass-through costs allowed. For example, all charges incur overhead: startup, pharmacy fees, monitoring fees, etc. Keep this in mind when negotiating your budgets. You do not want to accept the fee that you are being charged for, meaning you have pharmacy services and that pharmacy is charging you $2,500. Do not accept just $2,500 from the sponsor, but make sure that you have added the 26%. So charge the sponsor $3,150. Due to the university will take the 26% of this dollar amount, and the pharmacy will be taking their $2,500. Lastly, I mentioned before, there is a new policy that went into effect as of June 2021 that requires a minimum of 1% of faculty salary to be charged, can be charged to the industry clinical trial budget for PI oversight. Please ensure that you have this covered in your budget, either in startup or the per patient fees. Or if we are negotiating your budget, we will make sure that this is added. I have included the link here for the policy if you would like to read through it. NIH or federally funded clinical trials, please be aware that these types of trials will be tracked in ENCORE if they are considered a clinical trial. NIH defines clinical research as patient-oriented research, research conducted with human subjects or on material of human origin, such as tissues, specimens, and cognitive phenomena, for which an investigator directly interacts with human subjects. Also be aware that this type of study should be entered into the CSR, should be assessed for coverage analysis, that the CA and CTMS fees apply to these type of trials, and that these budgets also need to be reviewed by the CRO before finalizing as well. This concludes our module on clinical trial budgets. Please feel free to reach out with any questions you may have to any of these people listed. Thank you.